Now it's time for Straight on the Point with Jesse T. from some undisclosed location somewhere in the world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Jesse T.
It's time for the Jesse T Show. On the air and everywhere, from the community to the world. It's the Brown Beauty back on duty. It's Jesse T with you. Hey, that's me, and I can't help it being me, Jesse T. Okay, guys, we got a couple of systems going on here. I'm going to let my Facebook audience look at what's happening here. You see that, guys? That's what's happening there. And the YouTube, Instagram, Power of Voices, Facebook, Jesse Torrero audience. You see what's happening there? Okay, so we're doing this kind of a funky old way today. My Facebook.com/Jesse Torrero, guys, over here on this side that I have you on. I'm gonna have you guys go over to YouTube channel Jesse Torrero. YouTube channel Jesse Torrero, or I'm going to have you, that would be the best place to go, or you can go to Facebook.com/Jesse Torrero and go on the feed that is coming from our home front station, thepowerofvoices.com, because as soon as I end this direct feed to me here, I'm going to send you over to there, and there's a reason for that. The reason is that we're broadcasting live out here in the streets of San Francisco. We're in the streets of Hollywood at a Jack in a Box, and I'm on my way to San Vicente and a red carpet tonight at 6 o'clock. It starts at 6:30. Okay, do you see me there? Let me know if you do. Maybe you don't, and I'm just going to have to stay with you guys over here. We seem to always have these difficulties whenever I'm in the street using Skype, and I've got a great signal here. Totally full bar charged. I don't know why that is, but we always seem to have this little technical challenge every time. It never fails when I'm out and about using this Skype setup. We're going to just have to... It does. Hey, Lee,
You're
it
on.
doesn't. It always goes off, and it doesn't seem to be working.
It's your internet connection.
Hey, I got full bar internet connection, full bars,
Well,
and
according to the Skype, it is not full bars.
yeah,
You got some
it's just
interference there.
we always seem to have this problem with Skype, man. I don't know. We gotta figure out another system that'll work a little more efficiently and not mess up like this all the time.
You're on the air, bro.
Oh, I know that, but they can just watch what we're doing right now. I know I am, but I'm going to lose you anyway. I know I'm going to lose you because I'm going to move. I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to get driving here. Hey, I don't. The folks are seeing the background stuff, right here in front, so that's cool. But I'm going to get in the car, and the minute I start rolling, I'm going to lose you.
Well, there's nothing we can do about that. It's all based on your connection. Your cell phone connection is the first factor, and then whatever Skype is doing is your second factor. So those are the things you're competing against.
Okay. All right. Well, there's not much I can say there, is there?
No, do your show. For as long as you can. I mean, I can't do anything about it.
Okay. All right. Well, it's just so frustrating to me sometimes, drives me crazy. This technology, we get such a slave to the technology in our world today. And when it doesn't work for you, it's just like it sends you into a loop. It's crazy like that. I mean, it used to be when you made a telephone call, you could make a telephone call and you always knew your telephone call was never going to drop out, right? But now you make a telephone call from someplace and you're driving down the road and all of a sudden you're mid-conversation about something really spectacular or something really important and the phone drops out. And it takes you 10 minutes to get somebody back up. We've relied on an inferior system here that they've sold us a book of goods here that doesn't really work efficiently like it should, especially here in America. I don't know if you guys know, but like in the African continent and India and stuff, they got systems that are so much better than ours because they didn't have really any infrastructure with the telephones and the cables and the wires and all that. They just kind of went to cyber optics immediately and satellite. So they got a much more efficient system. It doesn't drop out like we drop out here. But this stuff drops out and it drives you absolutely insane. Well, anyway, so there's my dissertation and my monologue.
Fiber optics is one thing, but cell connection is another. You can't have fiber optics while you're driving in your car or walking down the street. Yeah, that's a hardwired connection. So
well,
you're doing
even the
cell
connections in some of these third world countries is better. Even these cell connections is better than ours.
We're not there, dog. So you got to make the best of what you got. What you got to understand too is you're putting 720 high definition video through your phone connection, and hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, gosh darn it, it should be better, darn it, and I want it to be better.
And plus, you're on that Sears and Roebuck connection. So what do you expect?
I want it to be better. I don't care. I want it to be better. I'm going to throw a temper tantrum. I want it to be better. Okay, I got it out of me. All right? I got it out of me. Anyway, today on the Jesse T Show, I'm wandering around the Jack in the Box parking lot here at Highland and Fountain. Okay, you can see Jack in the Box, guys, and I've got both systems running here, and I'm running off of two great phones here, so I should be okay as long as I don't move. Yes, as long as I stay right here. What we're going to be doing, I'm headed down to the London Theater on San Vicente, not too far from here. I'm going to get rolling here in a few minutes. We're going to meet the keynote speaker at this event that's taking place for a premiere of a movie documentary is the second man who walked on the moon, Buzz Aldrin. So he's a 33rd degree Master Mason. I'm a 32nd degree Scottish Rite Master Mason. So It'll be neat to talk to my first 33-degree Master Mason in my lifetime that I'll get a chance to talk to. So that'll be kind of cool. And I've been a Master Mason, a 32nd degree Master Mason for, gosh, probably almost, I was there 30 years. This would be the first 33rd degree one that I would actually meet. Buzz Aldrin, of all people. Second man to walk on the moon. And, you know, he's known, if you ask the question, did you really walk on the moon? For punching reporters in the nose when they ask him that question. But I'm going to ask him that question, but I'm going to frame it a little bit a different way. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Saying hi to Mike Laughlin, the Jolton J. Jeff Langton has us on. Valerie Vinning has us on Facebook.com/Jesse Torrero. So you guys on Facebook, Facebook.com/Jesse Torrero, I'm going to have you switch over to our other system that I've got parallel running right now at the Power of Voices or our YouTube channel, Jesse Torrero, or the feed that we got through coming through the Power of Voices on our Facebook site, Jesse Torrero, and the Power of Voices Facebook site as well. And the reason why is because I can't drive with two things in my car, in my hand, and I got to get driving. So I'm also going to switch you over here so I can just focus on one item here, because I want to talk about space, the final frontier, because these are the voyages of the journey of all in the day of the life of Jesse T. Searching out for new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, yes, that's my rendition of the original Star Trek opening, the famous and best sci-fi feature ever written by human beings. Oh man, yeah, I always wanted to be a little bit like Captain Kirk and a little bit like Spocko. Actually, did you know that Spock, being a Vulcan, has an evil Jesuit presence in him? Oh, I got to tell you about that whole monologue. I came across some research, and I've been studying it, that his Vulcan, split finger and Vulcan and all that stuff has an underlying Jesuit message in it that they were propagating us at a subconscious level. Yes, we're working into conspiratory land today. So, all right, so it's good to have you guys along on Facebook.com/Jesse Torrero. In just a few minutes, we're going to be getting out of here. Hold on, let me see what time it is. Yeah, I'm going to be jetting right now because I got to do a press check-in at 6 o'clock, and we're going to have an interview and get on the red carpet. The second man who walked on the moon. This is such a terrific, exciting time. Buzz Aldrin, the second man on the moon. Neil Armstrong, of course, was the first man on the moon. I remember as a kid watching this. It was just so cool and exciting with that black and white, real fuzzy picture. Of course, there's a lot of conspiracy. A lot of people say we never went to the moon. It was done in a Hollywood studio in Area 51, and that's what Stanley Kubrick said on 3 months before he died. He basically said that, but we're going to ask Buzz Aldrin about that. And also, I'm going to ask Buzz Aldrin if he can get me on President Trump's Space Force. I want to get on the Space Force. I want to be a Space Patrol. Heck, I'll be a janitor on Space Force. You know, I mean, I'll wash windows. I'll do the Jesse T show, the high energy show. Yeah, I'll do that on Space Force. I'll do it live on Space Force. That's right. Yes. Why not? Yeah. Or we'll do the red carpet. We'll do film premieres. I just want to do Space Force. I want to have a patch that says United States Military Space Force. I mean, I could pass a DOJ check and get top secret clearance. I mean, I talked myself into the White House once. Literally, I did, through the front door. Many of you know that story. But so we're going to talk about the Space Force. We're going to talk about space. We're going to talk about, time travel. I'm going to ask him some cool questions and see what his responses are. So Buzz Aldrin, I'm going to ask him, what was it like to walk on the moon? What was it like to be launched out of a V5 Saturn rocket with all that power? What was it like to be, on that little lunar module that had aluminum paper between him, Neil Armstrong, and the outside? So it's going to be a lot of fun. He's a keynote speaker. Hopefully we'll have the opportunity to get a chance with him. Edward Losey's going to be out there, one of the greatest PR guys ever in the history of Hollywood. So he's going to be out there. That's his new client, Buzz Aldrin. But it's about a premiere, A Moment in Time. It's a documentary about something called A Moment in Time about space. So I'm going to invite you guys to Jeff and Mike and Izzy. Go over to YouTube. Go over to YouTube channel Jesse Torrero right now, or go over to Facebook.com/Jesse Torrero, but switch formats. And instead of taking this Facebook feed directly from me, take the Facebook feed coming through our system. It'll say Jesse T Show on the bottom, the Power of Voices, and our phone number, and you'll see a screen with a black background. So I'm going to switch you guys over to that right now, and let you guys check it out that way. All right? So I'm going to get out of here, jump in the car. You're going to stay with me, and the journey begins. All right, so hopefully we'll be able to keep this connection on Skype as we drive. And then we're going to be back on Facebook.com/Jesse Torrero directly at 6:30 to do the red carpet for you. So complicated, fun, and exciting day here. Jesse T, all in the day of the life of yours truly. Dan the man's not feeling well today, so prayers go out to him. His legs are kind of sore, so I'm hitting it by myself. The Brown Beauty is on duty, all right? So I'm going to say bye to you guys over here. Switch over right now. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay. All right, so it's just you and me here. Hey, you see the green dragon right here? Okay? You see the green dragon right here? Let me plug this in. Let me plug my headphones in here. Get better headphone sound. You see the green dragon? I'm selling that car. The green dragon is for sale. It's a 94 Mercury Sable, loaded. I bought it in 1998. I've had it 20 years. It's basically been a garage car. I only drove it once in a while. About 6,000 miles a year, that's it. And I'm dumping this car. I want $1,500, but I'll do an OBO, best offer. So anybody who wants to buy this car, give me a call at 818-800-1343. Yes, I'm selling cars now for a living. That's the Green Dragon. It's fully loaded, air conditioning, heater, AM/FM stereo, great seats, perfect interior, perfect outside, perfect running engine, tranny, good new tires. Everything works. Everything works just like a drive off the showroom floor. So the Green Dragon is for sale, and I want to sell it to you. So if you need a great car that'll get you around, pretty good gas mileage, about 25 to 30 miles a gallon, and it's just it's a cool car, man. It's so smooth, and it's an electric vehicle in 1994. So I've been really happy with it, and I take it out once in a while. So that's for sale. Give me a call at 818-800-1343. 818-800-1343. You asked me what's that on top? That's my fruit punch from Jack in the Box. Okay, as we're circling around here and catching the views of Hollywood and Los Angeles and everybody who's kind of getting gas here, we just love. Hollywood is an interesting place for those of you who don't know Hollywood. You get characters like this guy behind me, kind of Looney Tune, homeless guy. He's kind of that third that I talk about that are going to have a real hard time getting off the street here in Los Angeles. There's a third of people in homelessness that got thrown on the street for some tragic affair, and they get off in about 18 to 24 months. Then there's a third of people that don't ever get off of the street because they like being on the street. You got to watch out for this guy here. Always got to watch out for people when you're in Hollywood. Looking left and right, your head on a swivel, on a 360. So I'm off to 1020 San Vicente in Los Angeles. That's where I'm headed. So I'm going to dump this fruit punch because I'm not going to be able to drink it while I drive, and I shouldn't have got it anyway because it's got sugar in it. I'm trying not to eat or drink any sugar, but I needed to get something there. Hold on a second, guys. Let me plug this in here. All right. Make sure I got enough juicing up everywhere. Okay. So, man, it's terrible when you got something stuck in your nose. Okay, so we're rolling now. So let's talk a little bit about what's happening here. And there's a third of people that are on the street, like this poor soul. He's just psychologically impaired, chemically imbalanced and impaired, definite problems, and he'll never get off the street. He will. That's it. His life is over with, and he'll never get off the street. I went up through the wrong. I drove through the fast order place here at Jack in the Box. I didn't think anybody was going to be at the other end there as we're kind of backing up. Yes, you're going to go with me on this journey. Yeah, this journey today. So this is kind of what I go through, getting to places and doing stuff. So you're just going to hang out with me. There's an Uber driver right there. You'll see an Uber driver. See the guy sitting in his van right there? He's an Uber driver. It's Uber. Lots of Uber drivers now around town. Lots of Lyft drivers. They're looking for rides or sitting in key spots that have been profitable for them. It's a good way to make a living if you know how to do it. You know, with every business, there's certain things you gotta learn about the business and how to time things right. So where I'm headed now, I'm going south down Highland Avenue, and Highland Avenue, just behind me is Sunset and Hollywood Boulevard. Excuse me. And I'm crossing Santa Monica Boulevard right now as we get down to San Vicente. I'm going to go to Wilshire because Wilshire Boulevard crosses San Vicente. And we're on our way to the London Theater at 1020 San Vicente in West Los Angeles. And it's a movie, a docudrama called A Moment in Time, and the keynote speaker is Buzz Aldrin, the second man who walked on the moon. So we got to check in at 6 o'clock, press check-in, and then at 6:30 the red carpet starts for a quick half hour. So hopefully I'll catch up with Buzz. That's my goal, is catch up with Buzz and talk about the moonshot, and talk about the Space Force, and talk about space and time and all that cool stuff. I've always been fascinated by space. I've always enjoyed the idea of how vast and large space is, and contemplated, lots of things about whether aliens are here, that we've been visited. And I think when I think about that and I ponder on it, and all the books I've read about that, we definitely have been visited on this here planet Earth, God's blue-green Earth. With all the pictographs around the world that have the same type-looking creatures with these big giant heads, the big giants. Stephen Quayle talks about the giants of the planet. In the book of Genesis, it's talk about the fallen angels or the Nephilim. In the Sanskrit, in the Sumerian tablets, it talks about the Anunnaki, Enos and Enu, and Anu, their father, the Anunnaki, giants. Of course, in the Old Testament, with David slaying Goliath, a giant, the Philistines were giants. And the Philistines were basically from southern part of the Middle East, up near Syria. And they were giant people there, as represented in the Bible. So we definitely have been visited. by other creatures. Don't do it, buddy. We've definitely been visited by other creatures at different times of the planet Earth. Historically, we're starting to find more and more things. Giant bones that the Smithsonian has in the Smithsonian and the English Museum in London, and also in Egypt, that they aren't telling us about. Of course, all of the UFOs, which just are unidentified flying objects, it doesn't mean they're space creatures, but some of them zoom along pretty quickly, much faster than what we think we can go. But our technology is really advanced. They talk about the astronauts. A lot of them talked about things they saw in space while they were flying to the moon that were just unexplainable. When you travel around the world, you ask yourself, how did these ancient civilizations, how did they accomplish these great feats of architecture and building when they didn't have machinery? How did they do it? The Tibetans will talk about they used sound waves to raise these blocks. Scientists will say that you can use sound waves to cut granite and marble very, very precisely. So, I mean, all this, how did they accomplish these things? And then why did they disappear? Where did they go? What happened? Of course, the Earth has been through many cataclysmic events that have taken place. The last one was when most of the planet was frozen. You had the Ice Age, and that ice came down here in North America, literally almost all the way to Texas. That's why underneath Texas and Oklahoma and the Dakotas and Kansas, right in the heartland of America, there is the largest underwater freshwater aquifer in this hemisphere, from Canada to Chile, because when the 10-mile, 5 and 10-mile high icebergs receded back to the North Pole at the end of the last ice age, about 15,000 years ago, they carved the heartland out, and the ice melted as it was receding back into the ground and the aquifers below. And that's how the Great Lakes were made. They were carved, and water was just deposited there in the 5 Great Lakes. That's why it's one of the largest fresh body water in the world, the Great Lakes. So, I mean, that was a cataclysmic event. Volcanic eruptions like we're seeing in Kilauea. And incidentally, they're saying now there's a thermal plant that's literally right on that volcano that they use for power and energy on the Big Island of Hawaii. They sink down these giant pipes through a drill process, and they frack and break up the hot rocks below, and they shoot steam down there to create hot water. And the hot water is brought back up, put into turbines to make power and energy for Hawaii. And they say that fracking is probably the cause of this lava flow that's happening on the Big Island and the volcano there, because it's very unusual that this lava flow is still going as strongly as it is and completely obliterating everything in its path. They talk about that this facility might be a military facility, that they're using sonic waves to frack, not a drill. Once they get the hole down there, they're shooting sonic waves down there to frack. And that's causing tectonic plate movement, and it's causing these volcanoes to erupt more violently and spill more lava out, and more lava is flowing than what would be necessary. That's a cataclysmic event if the rim of fire around the Pacific Ocean were to all go up. They say that the supervolcano in Yellowstone has gone up before. And if that pops off, the supervolcano in Yellowstone, and it's rising, there's a lot of activity now, that will wipe out every living soul on the planet Earth within 6 months. 95% of all life as we know it will die on the planet Earth. So cataclysmic stuff has hit our planet for billions of years. I don't believe in evolution in the way it was taught. You can't go from monkey, from chimpanzee to human being, and from ape to Neanderthal. You can't do that. I'm sorry, I don't buy that. Never did. But then I don't buy the creation theory either, completely. I think it's a combination hybrid of the two. I mean, all of a sudden we developed out of this milky muck into a single cell organism that over millions of years learned how to split and learned how to split. And then we came from flying birds and then the mammals. I mean, there's no logic to that to me. Never really has been. Anyway, it's just a theory. That's all it is. Even Darwin questioned his own theory at the end of his life. So there's lots of things that have wiped out this planet Earth, but yet civilization, as we know it, will always bounce back. Did we have some help from space? They are trying to find some communication with those big giant radars down there in South America, those dishes. Of course, Voyager 1 sent out with a gold disc of our planet. Stephen Hawking said, you better be careful what you ask for. We probably shouldn't want to meet aliens because they're going to be definitely more scientifically and sophisticated and have power and weapons and understandings that we can't even fathom to understand. Maybe we don't want to meet people or entities out there coming to the planet Earth. Maybe we should be a little more quiet and like our little corner of the Milky Way and just sit down and shut up, sort of like the Democrats. That's what they should do. Sit down and shut up and just enjoy what's happening on the good side. But when you think about that, you say to yourself, yeah, there are. It's hard to look up into the stars out in the desert and just understand that the farthest star is 15 billion light years away that they can see with the Hubble telescope. 15 billion light years. It's just beyond your ability to master the distance of that. Even if you went at the speed of light at 687,000 miles a second, you couldn't traverse even our own Milky Way galaxy in any kind of time that would allow you to still be alive. Unless, of course, time slows down for you and speeds up for everybody else. When you approach the speed of light and break that barrier, Einstein said time slows down for you. But to think that there's no creatures of intelligence, maybe not creatures that we understand, they may not have arms and legs, it may not be a creature that has a head like we have it. But to think that there's nobody there and we're the only ones, I think it's kind of selfish. Or maybe we are just that unique, that we are the only ones. I sort of think that there's got to be more. And I think they've been getting us ready with films and movies over the decades to get us ready for this awakening that we're about to have, this meeting of people that we're about to come through. Okay, I'm lost. That figures. All right. Jesse T's lost. All right, so what do I got to do? I got to figure out where I'm going. I think I went too far. I haven't crossed San Vicente yet. Yeah, so I got to go. San Vicente's coming up. Giaminotti, Mega 92.3 used to be up here. I used to come here every day and go to work. Of course, that became the Beat for 20 years. And then it became this hip-hop station that's out there now for the last 3 or 4 years. At least the last 2 years. So, yeah, I got to cross to San Vicente. That's right. It's not on Wilshire. It's on San Vicente. You got to get there, too. They said that check-in time was 6 o'clock. So it's 5:49. I'm not going to be late. I'm not going to be 10 minutes late. That's it. I'm just not going to be 10 minutes late. So I better hurry up because I still got to go past the La Brea Tar Pits, which is coming up here. You ever been to the La Brea Tar Pits? It's kind of cool, the La Brea Tar Pits. Let me change the camera angle here and see if... No, I won't be able to change it in Skype. That's right. So the La Brea Tar Pits are kind of cool. This goes back to the end of our ice age and a little farther back when there used to be elephants and tigers and lions and bears, and giant sloths. There's the La Brea Tar Pits for those of you who've only heard about it. And what would be, it would look like water, and the animals would come down here and they get stuck, and then they thrash around trying to get out, and they get stuck some more, and they eventually would sink by their weight and get consumed by the tar, and that's why they find so many bones here. In fact, this is one of the most prestigious areas in the world where they pull out more prehistoric bones than just about anywhere else. This is a big museum, the Art Museum here in Los Angeles, and they're building this cool building. Look at that cool building across the street. Is that pretty cool? That's that building there is the Peterson Car Museum. This is where Biggie Smalls was murdered with a drive-by shooting right there on Fairfax as he came out the door from an event that was taking place, a record party event, I believe the debut of his last album, and he was murdered right out here at the Peterson Car Museum by a drive-by murderer. They never really found it. Right there, right? Literally right there. That's where he was zapped. So we're traveling down Wilshire Boulevard. That's what we're doing. And we're coming up to San Vicente here in a second. And then we're going to be, I believe, taking a right to go to the London Theater to meet Buzz Aldrin. But that's an interesting story, how they put these guys together. You can get a little bit of that in the film that has a lot of movie stars in it. When I can't remember who the lead was. Kind of a little bit of the story. But when you start reading about these guys' stories, these astronauts were really courageous guys. They were literally going into the unknown, flying on a spaceship that a original digital watch computing power is all they had. They did everything in an analog kind of way with a slide rule. They didn't have any hand calculators or computers on board to speak of. And they flew this thing to the moon. It's a fascinating story on the technology that they used during that day of what they didn't have compared to what they have today. I've always thought that we never left the moon in 1973. I always was one. I'm going to ask Buzz Aldrin about this. I don't believe we left the moon. I believe that we have bases on the moon that they're not telling us about. I also believe that we've been on Mars, too, for some time. Because of Eisenhower, there's a declassified top secret paper that Eisenhower actually met 3 times with creatures and aliens from another galaxy, another time. This is the building that 92.3 Giaminotti's making 92.3 up on the 20th floor. That's a building that I used to work at in the early 2000s. And did the Giaminotti's thing. Okay, we're coming up to San Vicente here. If we cross San Vicente, we get into Beverly Hills. So I'm going to be looking for an address. We're in the West LA side right now. And that's kind of what I do. I'm always looking for someplace that I got to be at. And I'm trying not to be late to this, and it's 5:53. And they said mandatory check-in time is 6. All right, you're on the Jesse T Show. Just kind of meandering along here, getting to the big thing that's happening at 6:30 on the red carpet for a movie called A Moment in Time with the keynote speaker Buzz Aldrin, the second man to walk on the moon. Real excited about meeting him and getting him on the Jesse T Show. So we're going to be bringing that to you live here at 6:30. 6:30 to 7 is the red carpet. So let me flag an address here, 640. I used to study with a guy when I went to law school. He lived over here. I used to study with a guy here. Okay, that's 580. Why is it going down? It should be going up. Yeah, okay, that means I got to turn around. That's what I got to do. I got to figure out where I'm going. Okay, that's 570. West LA. I wonder if it crosses. Now this is where GPS comes into play. It's helpful because it can help you zero in on a place. I can get to any place by myself without GPS, but it's all. This is where it becomes kind of helpful because it allows you to zero in on some place, and that's kind of cool. But first, I got to get out of here and go to my email and get my confirmation. So I'm going to pull in right here where the bus stop is. That's what I'm going to do because I can't do these 3-4 things at once. I'm pretty good at driving, talking, holding the phone, drinking, and looking for addresses all at the same time. Not bad with that. Yes, an exciting show today on the Jesse T Show. But it's going to be exciting later on, I'll tell you that much. It's going to be real exciting because we're going to meet Buzz Aldrin, the second man who walked on the moon. Oh, man, how many times do you get a chance to do that in life, right? So 1020 North San Vicente Boulevard. So north means I got to go down and up. Okay, so I'm at 500. So it must be on the other side of Cedar Sinai Hospital and the Beverly Hills Beverly Center and the Sofitel Hotel. Yeah, because we're at 400. These are all things that we come to a lot down here when we do premieres and red carpets and fashion shows and stuff like that when we're down here. Traffic is just insane in Los Angeles. Can't wait till we get hovercraft or something to zip us along a little bit faster than what we're doing right now. So I've always wanted to travel in space. I think that would be like one of the coolest things in the world, don't you think? I think it would be just like so fun. Okay, San Vicente North. This is where I'm going. Okay. Yeah, I'm here now. I'm here. The old Hard Rock Cafe used to be here. I wonder if it's at the old Hard Rock. Huh. Right here, there used to be a nightclub in the disco era of the 1970s called the Odyssey. And the Odyssey is where they shot the film Thank God It's Friday. That was the answer film to Saturday Night Fever. That was a West Coast version of the East Coast version of disco and dancing. This was the West Coast. Thank God It's Friday. Donna Summer starred in the movie here. It's a great club to go to. Very expensive club at the time. It's a big giant dome. It was right there, the Odyssey nightclub. And there used to be a Fat Burger across the street. We used to go there and pick up on old chicks. Of course, you see, in 1976, I was 16, but I had fake ID that said I was 21. And so I would go to these nightclubs that were 21 and over and try to hook up with 22 and 3, 24 and 25-year-olds. Yes, old chicks. Is that like a gangbuster change of time? Man, time flies, guys. It really does. It really is. Enjoy your life. So, the Jesse T Show has kind of been meandering along today. wandering along all in the day life of yours truly, Jesse T. It's sort of what I do all day long. I know it's kind of crazy, but I'm either looking for property or looking for an office or looking for a client or looking for a place I got to go do an interview or looking for somewhere I got to go to a TV station or a radio station or I got to go interview somebody for an article I'm writing or I got to go to a red carpet premiere. I'm always looking and driving and looking. Hey, I want to sell the Green Dragon. Beautiful 94 Mercury Sable. Beautiful car in great shape. We've been driving in it. It's such a pleasant automobile to drive. I've had it for 20 years. Low mileage, 6,000 miles or so a year. That's it. And I'm looking for $1,500 for it. But I'll all best offer, OBO, man. I got to dump this thing in the next 4 or 5 days. So, you know, if I can score anything near $1,500 or I do have a bottom line, I'm willing to negotiate. So give me a call at 818-800-1343. I got to dump this car. So come on in here, boy. Come on, man. Get in here, buddy. God almighty. All right, so I'm getting close to my destination here. I'm at the 500 block. Now, wait a minute. San Vicente, North San Vicente. We're in the heart of West LA. I mean, this is like Santa Monica Boulevard in San Vicente. That's what this is. This is the Pacific Design Center. A lot of fashion shows are done here. Wow. Okay. Well, that's it for the Jesse T Show. It's rolling up our time here. I gotta focus on getting this place, checking in, and getting my spot. I'll be back with you on Facebook.com/Jesse Torrero here as we broadcast live for the second version of the Jesse T Show, live on the red carpet with the second man who walked on the moon, Buzz Aldrin. Wow, how exciting. The Ball Beauty's off duty. See ya.